Yep, good. So thank you very much, Tracy.
Thank you.
And now item 12, John. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
And I will let you introduce.
Okay, so this is the first report from the new planning consents unit, which combines planning functions, heritage, urban design, and resource consents. It was sort of an awkward time of year, so this is a very brief report, and the intention is to sort of expand it out over time. So the first topic I touch on is the Resource Management Act reform, and there's not too much to report on that. You'll probably be aware of some of it, but there were some questions posed to the councils, and we've been working on a response on that. Probably the key thing to note is that the dialogue between the council and MFE is improving, and that's a really positive sign. And various selected members might have been involved in some of that work, but definitely we're now meeting weekly with MFE staff, so we're getting some really good input into the design of the future system. So that's been a really positive step. Moving over into the resource consents area, and like building, we've got pressures in terms of the workloads. We're seeing a decrease in compliance with statutory timeframe, and you'll note in this report it's decreased from 98% to 87%. So we're not too bad, but it's decreasing all the time, and obviously we would like to be a lot higher, around that 99% target. Now we're taking some fairly significant steps in that space. We're recruiting. It's difficult to get people. We're using consultants, but they're over capacity as well and reluctant to take our work, so they're only taking a few applications at a time. And there's a lot of other things we're doing too, but probably quite focused on process efficiency now. And I'll give you some examples of what we're sort of looking at. We're issuing a few global consents, so we just did one this morning actually. So a swimming pool company, they require often earthworks consents, so we've done one consent which will mean we'll get 20 or 30 less consents for swimming pools. So we're trying to utilise the tools we've got currently to try and reduce the workloads. One of the things we're in the process of doing is creating a focused subdivision team too, so we've got more focus on that subdivision area. And Phil mentioned before about stamp plans being an issue, and I presume that's to do with greenfield subdivision and some of the assets that need stamp plans to get through that part. So we are getting people into the bottom end of that subdivisions team to chase up those sort of asset areas of council, keep really good tabs on how consents are processing, in particular that 2 to 4 stage. So hopefully we'll see some improvements in that area and improvements across the board. Surprisingly, we're not getting too much feedback at this stage about delays. Our customer satisfaction's at 85%, which is noted in 4.6, but that's not minimising the impacts of the delays that are currently being experienced in the construction industry. But we're hopeful we'll start to see some better progress in that area.
Thank you very much, John. And just to remind people, and John alluded to it, there's been some changes in this unit. So while they've been juggling those, they've also been keeping up with the demands from the public and their clients. So please keep that in front of mind when asking questions. And although it's a brief report, John, it's a very good one. So thank you very much. So I'll take questions. Okay. And Michael, Phil, have you got a... Sorry. Yep.
John, this is a great report. Nice and short. Love a short report. Great. With what you've got here is 1,100 applications up until December. What's your gut feeling now you've got January behind you? Is it tapering off? Because what I do, have seen happen, people think the world ends at Christmas time and they rush like crazy and get stuff in. Yep. Has it backed off a wee bit, or do you feel it's sort of we're at the crest of the wave and things are coming right?
It's hard to tell. So January is normally quite a quiet period for lodgement of consents. We've seen higher numbers than usual, what we would see comparatively with previous years. I think it's too early to sort of try and make any predictions from what we're seeing in January. And we'll get more of an idea in February and March, but I don't know if it's going to tail off, but we sort of wonder where all these applications are coming from, because a lot of the work is multi-unit residential, and it's been going on for a while, so there's a lot to be built yet, and there's a lot under construction at the moment, so you wonder how strong that market is.
Thank you.
I was just going to respond to Councillor Donovan's question before about the new RMA liberalisation of intensification. We may see some more development come in. We may also see a shift in where development occurs. So there's lots of intensification zones now across the city, which are being picked up for development. You may see some shifts into some other areas like what we call the residential suburban zone. So there might be some attractive opportunities there, but we may not necessarily see much more. We just may see it shifting to different areas. Time will tell.
Thank you very much. Jimmy, you had a question?
Yeah, one question. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you. And thank you. John, you particularly mentioned the number of non-notified application, increased a lot. So due to the workload, but I just want to know, based on this kind of this chart, I'm not sure this historian chart is right.
Yes.
How many the kind of applications, working days, but it looks like it's more, more kind of non-notified application, the possession days increase. So I just want to know, except the number increase, whether the criteria have any the change, difference from the RMA or not. And otherwise, why, the non-notified should be more simple, can be processed, why still take more time to process those the number of the non-notified application?
Yeah, well, the RMA's changed over time to get more non-notified applications. So that's changed. The district plan also introduced more non-notified applications. And what we've seen is applications that may have been notified in the past are non-notified now. That doesn't mean they're not complex. So, for example, a quarry could be non-notified. Doesn't mean it's not complex. It just doesn't meet that threshold for notification. And that may be for a number of reasons. But so while you're seeing more non-notified applications, the complexity of those non-notification decisions are higher. And actually, it's more risk for the council for non-notified applications than notified, because the real risk is around judicial review and that you didn't notify.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? Right, so it's been moved and seconded, so I'll put it, all those in favour? Any against?
Thank you.
Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Just before I ask Councillor Templeton to close with the karakia, I'd just like to thank Jane and her teams led by John, Robert and Tracy for all their work, and to the committee, and on behalf of the committee members, thank you very much for that, and to your staff. I'd also like to say a special thanks to Liz and the administration team for supporting the committee over the years. So thank you very much to those guys as well. And now I will ask Sarah Templeton to close the meeting with the karakia, please.
Tukuna te wairua kia rere ki te taumata. Ko te matatika, te matapono he arahi I ngā mahi. Ka aroha tahi te tira kia ake panuku, kia eke tangaroa. Humi e, hui e, tai ki e.
Kia ora. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you.
Thank you.